Grand Rising, beloveds. How you guys doing this beautiful evening? I hope you guys are doing well. I am doing just splendid. I'm doing great. So glad to have the time. I made the time to come on and give you this short message. I will not be long, but the message is pressing to me and much needed, especially during a time like now, with emotions at an all-time high and overthinking and just trying to stay healthy spiritually and mentally and physically, emotionally. When I get messages that I think deem really, really important, I just want to get them out to you guys. I just feel like, okay, I got to share it with my peeps. So I just learned of this information the other day. I've heard, the bits and pieces, but I've not seen it delivered as articulate as Dr. Joe Dispenza delivers it. And so I'm going to let him give you the message. And I'm going to just play it a couple of times. It's short. It's very short. But I'm going to play it a couple of times so you can really get the gist of it. And I'll say, first of all, before we get into it, that, and especially for those you women out there, our sisters out there that are in childbearing years, and are reaching childbearing years, this message is very, very important to you because you now have a chance to get this knowledge before you begin having your babies, and you can make sure that you're in the best of health, mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, etc. And so I want my young sisters, to get this information, because as I listen to it, as I have listened to this message over and over, it just makes me wish I had known it, before I had my children, and so I could also share with all my other sisters. It's just information that we were not privy to, and so those saying, when you know better, you do better. I want my sisters now to get it and have a chance to avoid these kind of situations. When growing up in the way many of us that look like me grew up, in these toxic environments, these toxic communities, just being neuromelanated, being black, so to speak, is, and all that they put on us, it contributes to, the kinds of feelings that we experience, the kinds of behaviors, and, and just all of that. And so knowledge is power. So I'm going to play this little short video. I'm going to play it a couple of times so you can get the gist of what I'm saying. Because right now I'm just giving you the spiel, but let me play this so you can really get what I'm saying. Okay. Bear with me, guys.
There's been significant studies that show that the thoughts, the emotions, and the behaviors of both parents, moments to hours to days before conception, cast the first genetic die. In other words, if the parents are living in an environment that are highly stressful because there's danger, or there's poverty, or there's fear, the fear then is put into the sperm and the egg as information, and it begins to influence the development of the child so that the child can face the same environmental conditions as the parents for better chances of survival. The blood flow of the mother is in constant communication with the child, and her thoughts, her feelings, her actions, her view of the outside world further influences the development of the fetus. The fastest path to enlightenment is raising children, because you have to be the very thing you want them to become. There's There's been significant studies
Let you
that
hear it a
show
second
that
time.
the thoughts, the emotions, and the behaviors of both parents, moments to hours to days before conception, cast the first genetic die. In other words, if the parents are living in an environment that are highly stressful because there's danger, or there's poverty, or there's fear, the fear then is put into the sperm and the egg as information, and it begins to influence the development of the child so that the child can face the same environmental conditions as the parents for better chances of survival. The blood flow of the mother is in constant communication with the child, and her thoughts, her feelings, her actions, her view of the outside world further influences development of the fetus. The fastest path to enlightenment is raising children, because you have to be the very thing you want them to become. There's been significant studies.
Okay, guys, did you hear that? Very powerful information, very critical information, very, very important information. And I wanted to share that with you. I did a video recently on overthinking and how thoughts can impact your subconscious mind and help create, whatever your thoughts are can create your future. And so that kind of ties in with that. And the point is, and I have a whole lot of respect for Dr. Joe Dispenza. Dr. Joe Dispenza helped me get through my Kundalini experience. It was him, and it was his videos and his meditational techniques that helped me work through that very dark time in my life. And so I have a whole lot of respect for his work and his knowledge, his wisdom. And when I saw that message, it resonated with me, especially being a neuromelanated woman coming from the kinds of neighborhoods that you can imagine would breed children, that may come with a lot of anxiety and a lot of what he described. So I wanted to come on and just share that for my sisters, my young sisters that are approaching childbearing years, to say it is very important. That tells us that it's very important that we become healthy, that we think as, on a daily basis, how we move and how we engage in our dating experiences and getting married. We need to pay attention to all of that. Who we marry, who we choose for a husband and who we choose to become intimate with. And all of those things are so very important because it all connects to, having healthy children, point blank, and just like Dr. Joe just said, is you have to become, what you want your children to be. So if you're healthy mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually, then that contributes to a healthy child in all of those descriptives. So it is so important that we pull it together, that we have it all together before we make the decision to have our babies. Because he's saying specifically that the condition that we're in is going to transfer into the baby, not only the mother, more so with the mother, but also with the father as well, through the sperm and through the egg. The information will be transported through the sperm and the egg, and the baby will be born with that information already in them. Isn't that amazing? When I heard that information, I was like, wow. And like I said, I've heard bits and pieces of it before, but not connected the way Dr. Joe Dispenza just explained it. So that is something, guys, that I wanted to come on and put out that information to my young sisters, brothers and sisters. Okay, don't let me forget brothers as well, because we got our brothers out there that, you know, they need to think about that too, you know, because parents, you got mom and dad. So I'm sorry, brothers, but you as well. Um, it is just so important, guys, now that we're remembering all of this information, and we're getting, you know, getting the uploads and reading and listening to podcasts and just getting all of this information that have been hidden from us for quite some time, or some of us never knew some of it. So we're getting it now, so we need to put it to use. We have to put it to use. It's, you know, it's important for us to have this information and act on it, so that our babies that are coming, the new star seeds that are coming, the what they call them, the blue babies. Yeah, y'all help me out. They have there's a name, a term that we call our babies that are being born now, something blue, I think. But anyway, the babies that are our babies that are coming now, we want them to be healthy. We know better, and when we know better, we should do better. Even with all of the information we're getting about having our babies in the hospital and how detrimental that can be, a lot of our women are hiring doulas and midwives to come in and help us birth our babies, because we're finding out all of the ugly stuff that that some of us wasn't privy to the knowledge to escape. So we're finding that out now. So going forward, we can teach our young women, our, you know, babies, young, you know, our young women, we can teach them so that they don't have to make the same mistakes or do the same things that we did. And they weren't all mistakes. We did the best we could. So I wanted to put that information out. And just so you know, guys, Dr. Joe Dispenza, he is a doctor. He's an amazing doctor. And what really captivated my attention to that message was the fact that I've already, like I said, he helped me get through my Kundalini experience. And these are two books that I read that I'm going to recommend to you guys. One of them is Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Dr. Joe Dispenza. Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. It's an amazing read, guys. I read this book and I have used it for reference. It's one of those books, I read it and it's all, I mean, I have yellow marker all through the book. I really put a lot of work in reading and understanding. Sometimes if I don't get a message, I'll reread it again, pages more than once. So this book is a phenomenal read, and trying to understand ourselves and how to heal, and, you know, how to move forward, coming out of this third dimensional place. And also, this is another amazing read. It's called Becoming Supernatural by Dr. Joe Dispenza. And this is the second one that I read, Becoming Supernatural. Amazing. And it's all tied to spirituality and health, mentally and physically, you know, emotionally. And these two books will change your lives. I promise you guys, if you would consider reading them. Look at reading them. Look at the reviews and just, you know, take my review and consider purchasing these books. So I just wanted to come on and pass this information. Like I say, that was newfound information, really recent information coming from scientists, and Dr. Joe Dispenza just described, you know, that it's new information, and but it's powerful information. It's life-changing information. And I want my sisters and brothers out there, my brothers and sisters out there, to have that type of information, and so that we can have it to use it in our process of healing, and, you know, and creating our new spaces that we're embarking on. So I appreciate you for coming on to listen to this important message I deem very important, and I'm sure you do too. You will too. And I just appreciate you taking the time, because you could have been doing anything else, but you're here listening to me. So I thank you so much for that. I'm going to ask you to like the video. I always ask you to like the video. I ask you to share the video. Thank you so much. And hit the notification bell so that you can continue to get the content. And I really appreciate you guys. You know I love you, and you know how much I love you. I'm gonna sign out. I'm gonna say assalamu alaikum, shalom, namaste, ashe, ashe, and ashe. Peace be unto you. Get some sun and hug somebody, guys. There's always someone out there that needs a hug, and I appreciate you for that. Gonna sign out now. Have a wonderful evening. Love to you. Until next time, I'm going to say bye-bye.